Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Deborah Simpson with Speakers Guild USA, and today it's my privilege to have Rhonda Sher with us. Rhonda Sher is a nationally recognized expert in business networking and LinkedIn. She's the author of The 2-Minute Networker, The ABCs of LinkedIn, Getting LinkedIn or Get Left Out, and How to Avoid the Business Card Pileup. Rhonda is an expert at teaching CEOs, speakers, authors, small business owners, and entrepreneurs how to leverage LinkedIn and convert relationships to revenue. Rhonda's natural humor, interactive approach, and 20 years of business experience has brought her into the forefront as a sought-after national keynote speaker and trainer. She teaches powerful, practical techniques and insider secrets to take your profile to profit using LinkedIn. When it comes to generating leads and referrals on LinkedIn, you won't be left out when you work with Rhonda. Rhonda, welcome. It's nice to have you as our guest presenter today.
Nice to be here, Deborah. Really nice. So let's jump in. What do you say?
Let's jump in.
Perfect. So one of the things that most people don't realize about LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is a place where people invest time. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all the other social sites are a place where people spend time. So I put the first slide up just because I think it's kind of cool to share just a tiny bit about my story and how I've used LinkedIn. You'll see on the left, it's a picture of somebody very young and very thin. That was actually me when I first got married back in 1980. And I was married for 28 years. You'll see in the middle, those are our two daughters. One will be 28 this month, and 27, excuse me, and the other will be 29 next month. And after 28 years of marriage, I got divorced. And I found myself in a position where I needed to create a significant income being on my own. And I used LinkedIn to actually create a significant income every single month. And what I did is I decided I was going to go back to something I had done many years before, which was sell life insurance. And I went on LinkedIn and I found all the mortgage people on LinkedIn. And I knew that they had my target market because everybody that bought a house typically needed to get some sort of life insurance because if something happened, they would lose their home. But most people had the old kind of life insurance, which you had to die to use. So fast forward, I reached out using LinkedIn. And went to the mortgage people, helped them with LinkedIn, and sold a lot of life insurance. And fast forward to 6 years after I got divorced, I remarried my ex-husband. So I jokingly say I have a husband and a husband, and I didn't have to change my name and the kids are ours. But the moral of the story is that LinkedIn truly is a vehicle that anybody can use to generate leads on a consistent basis. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So what I'm going to share today is why LinkedIn is so important for anybody that's in business, what your profile should contain. I'll talk a little bit about the paid versus a free version of LinkedIn, some of the resources that I have. On LinkedIn for one of three reasons. Usually people that are looking for jobs or recruiters that are looking for people. The second reason, which is what we're going to talk about today, are people that want to build their network. They want to create credibility, visibility, and profitability, like many of the speakers that belong to the Speakers Guild that you run, Deborah. And then finally, as speakers and professionals, it's to educate, nurture, and engage with your network. And LinkedIn is the perfect place to do that. So one of the things that most people don't know is that LinkedIn is actually 277% more effective at converting business than Facebook or Twitter. And a lot of people really find that surprising. And the truth is that LinkedIn is where people will find you. And you'll see in one of the later slides, I talk about going out and Googling yourself. And when you Google yourself, typically you're going to show up on the first page of Google. And that's what people see. So I took the liberty, Deborah, of actually getting your first three lines of your summary. And it's so clear what you do. When somebody looks at your headline, which previously, before we revised it, it basically said what what your title is, but now it says, I help entrepreneurs and business owners get more business through speaking. SpeakersGuildUSA.com, which is your website, get seen and heard. And then the first 3 lines of your summary are the most critical because that is what people need to see in order for them to click see more. So in those first 3 lines, you want to let people know exactly what it is you do. In your case, it's we provide business professionals who want to speak to groups to grow their business with access to organizations that are looking for speakers. That is crystal clear. There's no guesswork in what you do. So if you are reaching out to business professionals that obviously are on LinkedIn to grow, they're your ideal target market. And then you say you work with event planners, business networking organizations, chambers of commerce who need quality speakers for your organization. The first 3 lines are what get people to want to click to see more. And then the rest of it is just a little bit more information. So people are going to want to know about your company. So here, basically, we take the first 3 bullet points of who you work with, what you offer, and just a little bit of information. So that's how a summary should look. Now, coming back to now you've got a summary. Okay, great. Why do you want to be there? Well, the reality is that in the world of B2B, 80% of those leads come from LinkedIn. And the statistics really speak for themselves. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you might want to reconsider actually putting a very solid client-centric profile there because that's where people are looking. In fact, who's there? 75% of the people on LinkedIn have an income higher than 50K, and 44% of them earn actually more than $75,000 a year, and 41% are millionaires. Well, I don't know about you, but that's where I want to be. So the challenge that many people have, speakers, even service professionals, whether you're a professional speaker or you're not. So here's Chris, he's a client of mine. And if you've ever been to any of those restaurants that have the misting systems with 110 degrees, you've been to a sporting place and they have the misting, his company actually puts them in. If you look at the before picture, he has the blue background, which is what LinkedIn defaults to. If you look on the right in the after, it actually has all of his branding. So it has his company name, it has an example of what he does. And then under his headline, under his name, it defaults to what your current position is. So previously, before I upgraded his profile, it just had his name as president and CEO of Big Fog. And if you look at the next slide on the right-hand side of the after, it talks about misting fans, misting systems, outdoor and event cooling, odor control, heating and cooling systems, and his phone number. And you'll also see the little gold button on the right. The little gold button on the right means that he's a paid member of LinkedIn. He's using either the Premium or Sales Navigator. So it's very clear what he does. And if somebody was looking for a misting system, a cooling system, chances are he's going to show up pretty high in the search engines. So the picture on the bottom is really the analogy that I used with most people. And that is, there are so many qualified people out there, but they're showing up for a business event or a black tie event wearing their running clothes. And what I encourage people to do is take a look at your profile, show it to somebody and ask them, does this accurately represent what I do? And I love this little cartoon. It just says, according to your LinkedIn profile, you're a focused, disciplined achiever. But according to your Facebook photos, you love Jack Daniels and you're pretty comfortable with your body. So there's always a little bit of humor in this. And really the question that you want to ask yourself is, does my profile inspire confidence? And it's very hard to look at yourself with a critical eye. I know for myself, whenever I leave the house, I always ask my husband, does this look okay? Or, the famous question that we always ask that there is no right answer to, does this outfit make me look fat? Well, he couldn't possibly win with any answer on that one. So the thing is that you really want to get an honest opinion. Does your profile inspire confidence? And the reason that you want to ask that is because people are 2 times more confident in the information they find on LinkedIn than any other site. So how are you showing up? How do you generate business with LinkedIn? Well, it all starts with the profile. And you'll see on mine, I use something called canva.com, which is free. That's how you create that background heading. And on mine, what you'll notice is that I put all of the services that I offer, or a good number of them, but they're all using keywords. And you'll see the word LinkedIn many times. The secret is you want to use the keyword about 6 times in every section if you can. Google, punishes you and LinkedIn rewards you. And then,
Rhonda,
yeah.
Can I just just for the people watching the webinar,
Sure.
over at speakersguildusa.com on the blog are 2 videos, Canva, an introduction to, which is part 1, and then using Canva, which is part 2.
Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. So you'll see that on my profile, and I changed the background around a lot, but what you'll see very importantly is I have my phone number there, and I use the Google phone number because I don't want people that I don't know calling my cell phone, and Google is free, and it actually announces who's calling. So it's a good, and if you want to take something to model after, take a look at my profile, take a look at Deborah's, because really what you want to do is you want to use that banner space. And fortunately, Deborah, you're actually giving them the tool on how to learn Canva. So the secret here is activity leads to visibility. Visibility generates opportunities. And one of the easiest things to do on LinkedIn is post. Now, I know we all post on Facebook, or many of us do, but I tested something out this past couple of weeks, which has been very interesting. I have been posting some quotes and some photos and asking you a question along with it. And I posted something yesterday, which was a picture of the iceberg and then what's beneath the iceberg. And I put a comment with it and just asked people, what do you think? I've had over 1,500 views and over 30 likes. Now, why is that significant? Well, because anybody that has taken the time to actually like my post or comment on it, I can literally pick up the phone and call them and say, thank you so much for liking my post. How are you? And sometimes they're connections and sometimes they're people that follow you. It's an excellent, excellent tool to give you a reason to connect with the people that are looking at what you're posting. And consistently, I've been getting anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people that are viewing just a simple post. And then I share posts of other people. So if you're not doing that, I highly recommend that you start posting two times a day. We talked about this a few minutes ago, but I really can't emphasize this enough, and that is people are going to Google you. When somebody gets your name, they're going to Google your name. And if you have a LinkedIn profile and your name is not Mary or John Smith, there's a 70% chance or better that your LinkedIn profile is going to show up on the first page of Google. And part of that is because of something called the Moz, M-O-Z rating. And that's because Microsoft bought LinkedIn back in October of 2016. As a result of that, LinkedIn has now taken front and center, and you will also see on many CRM systems like Outlook, for example, you're literally one click away from somebody's profile to learn about them. So you want to Google yourself. And here, when I Googled myself, it showed up that LinkedIn was the second thing that came up. The only reason that Wolf Management came up first is because he pays a lot of money to have that site optimized, and I happen to just be one of the consultants on there. But you can see that somebody can actually go right there, and if you look underneath, you'll actually see that's the URL for my name. You can go directly from this Google page to my LinkedIn profile. So when I say you're one click away, you are.
So Rhonda,
Yeah.
just so you know, because you don't necessarily have as common a name as I have, and I'm so grateful I got Simpson for my last name because the maiden name was really tough. But when I just Googled myself, and the third piece that comes up is the top 25 Deborah Simpson files on LinkedIn. And then my file comes up after that. But I just thought that was kind of comical.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing also is kind of a little bit of a trick that people can do. You could actually put Deborah Simpson Speakers Guild, if that's not too many letters, I'm not sure if the number of characters, and use that. And again, that's going to optimize you even a little bit more. So on your URL, the reason I didn't do it is because I was one of the very early adopters, probably from 2006, with LinkedIn, and because I've been speaking for such a long time, and using LinkedIn, people already know that's how to find me. So I haven't changed it. Plus, it's on every business card, every email I've ever sent. I want people, because I don't really use a website other than landing pages. So I want people to go to my LinkedIn profile because they can find out everything about me, the good, the bad, and all of it. There's on this next slide, you'll see there's a really great app. It's called crystalknows.com. Crystal Knows is an app that you pay for. I don't make anything if you go do this. It's about $180 for the year, but it will literally extract anything that's about on the internet about you and tell you the accuracy of what your DISC profile is. And if you don't know what your DISC profile is, that's your personality profile that says whether if you're a D, for example, you're a bottom line person. Tell me where, tell me when, tell me how much. You could care less about my family, what I had for lunch, or anything else. So it actually tells you how to approach people. A real high I on the DISC scale. So, I want to be social. I want to talk about, how are your kids and where did you go shopping yesterday and where are you going on vacation? I want to know all that stuff. And then we can get down to business. And if you knew that, you would be able to develop rapport much more quickly than if you didn't. And this app is a very cool tool. And again, I love this thing with Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are, but I'll look you up on LinkedIn and I'll find you. Very true. I also want to know who's looking at our profile. Well, with the free version, you're only going to see the first 3 people. With the paid version, you'll see everybody. And who is going to be there? It's your prospects, it's your customers, it's your partners, it's vendors, it's referral partners. It's just about anybody that's going to come and look at you. And if you want to know who's looking at you, and there's a lot of value in that, get the paid version of LinkedIn. Because again, you saw the first page of Google. People are going to go look for you. Let me go back for a second. The other thing also, and I know, Deborah, you gear your practice a lot to business people who are in a lot of service industries. And what most people don't realize is that 50% of buyers are going to avoid a sales professional that doesn't have a profile. So it's that first impression, and your LinkedIn profile is very key to that. And 92% of B2B buyers said that they would engage with sellers who are known in the industry as thought leaders. And here's an interesting thing about LinkedIn. They have a publishing platform called Pulse, P-U-L-S-E. And since there's a new person that joins every second, but only 3% of the people on LinkedIn are actually publishing on Pulse. 3%. So if you're part of that 3%, you're going to get noticed. Take advantage of it. What should your profile look like? Well, I love this little commercial. It should look like CVS receipt. The drugstore when you go in and buy, something and they give you a receipt that's 2 miles long. It's got lots of great information, lots of value, and it stands out. Make sure that's what your profile does. So how do you build the perfect LinkedIn profile? Well, there is no such thing as perfection, but make sure that you have a professional headshot. I actually said you're 7 times more likely to get found. That number is actually 11. And you want to optimize your profile with keywords. So a professional headshot is a must. And smile and no dark glasses. I literally could not make this stuff up. Here's the Snoopy cartoon, Charlie Brown. Why is a picture worth 1,000 words? Well, the 2 people, these are real pictures. I can't make this up. It doesn't really look like they're looking for customers or a job that are rated PG or G. Would you agree, Deborah?
Wow.
Yeah, those are real. Those are real. Yeah.
The top one is unbelievable.
I know. No kidding. Again, I want to come back to the banner and just show another example. And I love that you have the instructions on Canva. This was actually done on Canva right here. And again, you'll notice there's a phone number. There's the guarantee. There's the logo, and there's what he does. John happens to be a client of mine. And then I see the little gold box, and that tells me, guess what? He has the paid version. He's doing pay to play. Okay, I cannot make this stuff up. This is a real person, a real profile. And as you can see, it's not such an attractive headshot. It says, I'm currently unemployed, and it's being hard living a life of being unemployed. I am a professional sign language teacher, but I'm currently unemployed for now. I used to work at the College of Lowland, Colorado from 2013 to 2015 and I work at Walmart for 2 years. So,
Wow.
yeah,
And a non-capitalized I.
yeah.
Wow.
So the moral to this story is you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Doug Crow is somebody that found me through LinkedIn, and I redid his profile. And what was really fascinating about what happened, he was very successful when I met him, but he wasn't busy enough, because what happens with most people is they're either working in their business or on their business. And LinkedIn is a tool that helps generate leads while you're not necessarily being active. It's visible. And he actually made $40,000 his first month that I optimized his profile. I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that to show you that it works. And why it works is people search for the words 100% done for you. They search for ghostwriting. They search for business funnels done for you. I know the keywords. You can easily find the keywords. And that's why, he got the results he's got. And honestly, Deborah, he's not all that much of the exception. So, your LinkedIn summary, these are all sort of the boxes that you want to cover. And again, it's your headline, it's what you do, it's who you serve, it's what other people think of you, it's your contact information, it's what makes you different. And the other thing that I suggest to people is put some of the information that is in your background. I did a workshop a couple of weeks ago for the Newport Chamber. It was actually a working workshop, and LinkedIn used to let you put your marital status. Now they just tell you to put your birthday. Well, the part that was really funny was one of the people in the room said, well, in my background, can I put I'm not married, even though I am? And everybody started laughing. And I'm like, no, this is not the dating site, okay? You want to put you're married with 7 grandchildren if that's something that's really near and dear to your heart, and it's true. But you don't want to put you're unmarried, because then, people are going to look at it and think, oh, am I on the right site? Right? So I'm not going to take the time to actually play this audio video, but what I created, because even though you have the section for recommendations on LinkedIn, most people do not want to be in front of a camera. And I'm one of them, and I speak for a living and get recorded. So what I created is a way for people to actually just record a testimonial and then upload a picture and turn it into a video. And so I call it an audio video. And if you look at my profile, you'll see a number of them there. Not hard to do, and very, very powerful. Here's the easiest way to do it. If you happen to be someplace and, for example, Deborah, let's say that you're at an event and one of your people in Speakers Guild got an amazing opportunity because of being a member of your Speakers Guild USA, and they tell you about it. You take out your phone, you hold it sideways, and you say, oh my gosh, my kids never say anything that nice. Can I record that? Get permission to record it, and then hold your phone horizontally and record what they're saying, upload it to YouTube, and put it right on your profile. It's not going to cost you a dime. And if you ever hear anyone say anything nice, say, can I record that, please? And I'll put it on my profile. And please say your name, say your website, say what you do, because you want them to get the credit for it. So the question that I have for everybody here is, do you know how much business you're actually gaining or losing based on your LinkedIn profile? And most people will say, well, I'm not really getting any business, but I'm not losing any business. The truth is, you are losing business in some cases if people are looking at your profile and your phone isn't ringing. And I remember about a year or two ago, I had done a training for Keller Williams, and I asked that question: has anyone ever lost business because of LinkedIn? Now, in a group of real estate agents, I didn't know what I was going to get. Well, I had a woman who raised her hand, beautiful woman. She said, I'm 75 years old. The only reason I'm still working is my husband retired, and I love what I do. And I recently went out. I knew there was another agent that was being considered. This was, high-end Orange County. She knew she was way more qualified, and she found out that she was not selected as a listing agent. So she called the woman and said, I'm just curious, is there a reason that you didn't select me? And the woman said, well, my son looked at your LinkedIn profile and said I had to go with the other agent. Her profile was just pretty bare. So you really don't realize how much business you're losing. And oftentimes people will refer people to you. And just like we check out restaurants and we check out movies and we check out everything, people check you out. How are you showing up? And if you know who is showing up and you have the paid version, that those people are leads. So if you take a look here, this is a profile of Tara Hooper. And Tara is an image consultant. Now, that's not normally the type of people that I work with. That's not my sweet spot. However, it turns out that I have a friend who's an image consultant, and she asked me to get on a Zoom call with her and just show her some of the other profiles of image consultants. So I showed her a bunch of them. Tara happened to be one. And the next day, I got a LinkedIn invitation from Tara with a message that said, I'd love to know more about how you work. I'm looking to upgrade my profile. And I thought, how the heck did she find me? Well, I totally forgot. So I picked up the phone and called her. And that's one of the things that I recommend people do. And I said, Tara, how did you find me? She said, well, actually, I didn't. You looked at my profile and I've been looking at somebody to help me. And when I saw yours, it looked different than everybody else that I had spoken to. And I still was kind of baffled. Then all of a sudden I remembered, oh, yeah, I was helping my friend. And that's how I ended up looking at her profile. So you can see, and her headline actually has more than 140 characters, because the workaround to double the amount of verbiage that you can put is create your headline on a phone or a tablet. You can't do it with a laptop to get that 200 plus characters, but you can do it on a phone or a laptop. It's a workaround, and it's a cool little thing to know. So Tara is actually really kicking butt with her new profile. I love this cartoon. It says, what are you doing? Oh my God, you're checking out my LinkedIn profile, aren't you? Well, yeah, people do that. And then coming back to what we talked about before, Deborah, which is your personal URL, if you don't grab your name or something that's personalized, it's going to default to whatever it feels like with a bunch of letters and numbers after it. So if you have not taken the time to create your own personal URL, LinkedIn was kind enough to do it for you. The only problem is nobody will ever remember it. So it's free. Go take advantage of it. Who do you want to connect with? People that view your profile, read your posts, share your updates. I talked a little bit earlier about all of those folks that, are liking my posts that I'm putting up there. And I'm really surprised at how genuinely happy people are to talk to me, because I'm just responding to the fact that they took the time to actually like or share my post. So there is clearly a financial benefit to that. And I'm never selling. In fact, when I get on the phone with somebody, the first thing I say is, we're connected on LinkedIn. I wanted to get to know you better. I'm not selling anything. And even if they want to buy something, I won't have that conversation, because that's not what I'm calling for. Finally, what I really want to share is privacy settings. And, if you look on profiles, oftentimes you'll see people also viewed. And Amazon, when you go to buy something at Amazon and you put it in your cart, aren't they so generous to say, oh, you might also like, and before you know it, you've added 4 things to your cart that you didn't plan on buying. Well, LinkedIn actually tells you, using their own algorithm, that if somebody came to your profile, these are the other people they looked at. You can turn that off with one click. And unless you are Richard Branson or somebody that really stands out about everybody else, my recommendation, turn it off. Why would you leave home with your front door unlocked? That's what leaving this setting open does. Pay to play. October of 2016, Microsoft purchased LinkedIn for 26 point something billion dollars. And a lot of times what happens is you'll hear from people that get messages from LinkedIn saying, oh, you've had so many views on your profile, you might want to upgrade. Well, that LinkedIn is an organization. They're a public company. They want you to pay. Here's the reality of it. It works. If you actually use Sales Navigator and you have an optimized profile, it will pay for itself. It's $80 a month if you pay for it monthly, and $60 you pay for it annually. And according to my accountant, you can write it off. It's an investment worth paying for. So with LinkedIn, You got to leverage, you got to build relationships. You got to take those relationships from online to offline and online to offline. And then finally, every place you go is a potential networking event. So when you meet somebody new, ask them, are you on LinkedIn? Let's connect, because you never know who they know. I don't know how we're doing on time, Deb. I don't want to run over.
We're great. We're great.
Okay, cool. So I love this little cartoon. It says LinkedIn networking event, and there's that's the anonymous LinkedIn member. They never introduce themselves, and they just stand there and watch. And I think that's really kind of funny, because, we all meet people during the course of a day. And even if it's not at a formal networking function, I'm in Starbucks quite often, and usually there's a line. In fact, I try to go when it's busy, because it gives me an opportunity to talk to the person that happens to be in front of me or in back of me. And you never know where that conversation is going to go. So you can always ask to connect on LinkedIn. And there's a very, very cool feature on the LinkedIn app on the phone. So if you happen to be at a networking event, you can literally turn that feature on, and using Bluetooth, it will tell you who else is around you that's on LinkedIn. It's really, really cool. And it's a brand new feature that not a lot of people know about and aren't using. But I got to tell you, it really is a door opener. So you want to really be focused on bringing your offline connections online and taking your online connections offline. I can't tell you how many times I've been someplace and they'll say, hey, we're connected on LinkedIn. Well, I have almost 13,000 connections, so I don't remember everybody. However, I will immediately take it out, look at it, and go, oh my gosh, and we have X amount of connections in common. And a lot of times, you're connected to people that you don't know, and a great way to rekindle that relationship is call them and say, hey, Deborah, we're connected on LinkedIn. I can't believe we haven't had a call yet, and we share over 300 common connections. Well, guess what? Even if it's a voicemail and that's what I've left, you're going to call me back. So, in essence, really what I want to leave people with today is, take advantage of LinkedIn, take inventory of your own profile. Go to yourconnectionconsultant.com and you can download my free 7 steps to a profitable profile. And finally, the last thing that I want to share is I wrote a new book called Converting Your Connections to Cash and Relationships to Revenue. And my bestseller campaign starts on Thursday. So it's going to be free for 5 days. And if anybody would like to get that link, you'll find it on my LinkedIn page, or they can just email me at linkedindiva@gmail.com, and I'm happy to give them the link to go to Amazon and get my book for free. And it's kind of fun. So I think we've covered just about everything. Questions, Deb, or did I miss something?
No, I think you've given them a great bit of information that we can all go over to LinkedIn now and take a look at our profiles and some of the other things that you spoke about. So I really appreciate it. I think it gives them a good opportunity. And Rhonda gave you her contact information. So like she said, she worked on my profile, which is really great. I just want a new headshot. That's okay. But at least when I did LinkedIn and I put my photo up there, I put my photo up there as my podcaster photo because I've been podcasting for so long, and it's not quite as professional as that professional headshot. So right now I'm very incentivized to go out and get professional headshots. But boy, you've given them a lot of information. So I hope that the viewers and my community reach out to you to have you help them with their profiles over at LinkedIn. It's been a great webinar. Really, thank you for taking the time out of your day, Rhonda, to do this for me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. And I think that's a wrap. And this will be posted up at speakersguildusa.com. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us today.